Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's California EDD Unemployment Live. My channel is Shelly's Millions. I do need to do a sponsored video for Coldest Water. I always have the link to them in the description of all my videos. Use code millions for 10% off your entire order, or they do a weekly giveaway that you can enter to get your own water bottle. You guys see me drink out of this all the time. All right, is that weird? That's probably weird. I hope everybody had a good, safe 4th of July weekend. I hope you all got paid your unemployment claims today. Tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm kind of excited about that. Supposedly this water bottle will float in a pool or the ocean, and I'm going to go swimming at a friend's house, and they're going to barbecue. So of course I'm going to throw this thing in the water and see if it really floats. Sorry to talk about the water bottle, but I actually take my mom to her doctor's appointments, and we went to Loma Linda and the heat was 121 degrees, and I left the thing in the car the whole time, and I came out and there was still ice inside. So that was awesome. I also have to really thank Michael. It might be Mikhail. His last initial is M. You know what you did, and thank you. Scotty, thank you for the happy early birthday. Work did go well. It was a little busier because it was a holiday Monday, but busier is good because we've been a little slow. Your funds were deposited into your account today. That is great. I love to hear that. Michael says, with the work search requirements looming, where do we stand? When we certify, do we just click yes? Do we need to prove that we are listing? And if we do, how many? Okay, so the main thing you need to do is click yes to did you search for work. That's the main thing you need to do. You need to keep track of it. You don't necessarily need to list it on the EDD certification page. I recommend that because that's going to be the surest way to make sure that there's no problems on your unemployment claim, but you can just keep track of it in a notebook. Like I was thinking about work search activities today and things that would count. You guys, do you know that you could watch a YouTube video on improving your resume and that would count towards improving your resume? So something like improving your resume counts as a work search activity, preparing your resume to get it ready to send out. And so if you needed to do research on preparing your resume, that would count as a work search activity. But something like that, you wouldn't be able to really list on the EDD website, at least not how the form currently stands. And they may revise it a little bit, but we haven't seen yet, so we don't know for sure. But you could write that in a notebook. You could say on 7/10, researched tips for writing a good resume, revised my resume, haven't sent it out to employers yet. I'm going to have a friend proofread it. Oh, I have not seen you in a long time. Hi, Henry. I hope things are going good with your unemployment claim. Thank you for the donation. My evening is going well. Thank you. When do you think most of us will be getting the second California $600 Golden State stimulus time frame? Okay, so the first thing is it's not actually a second Golden State stimulus. It's just one $600 Golden State stimulus. The only thing that they've done is they've expanded the income limit for people who are eligible for the extra $600 Golden State stimulus. And unfortunately, they have not even given a time frame on that. I have been keeping up on the news articles and it didn't seem to say. So again, the Golden State stimulus, it used to be for someone who made $30,000 or less per year, but now they have increased the income limit to $75,000 or less per year. You do need to have filed your 2020 taxes in order to be eligible for it. The payment method is supposed to be the same as however you got your tax refund. So if you got direct deposit, the Golden State stimulus is supposed to be direct deposited. If you got a paper check for your tax refund, you're supposed to get a paper check for the Golden State stimulus. I will say that based on and that's adjusted gross income, You also do have to have some earned income. It can't just all be from unemployment in order to qualify for the Golden State stimulus. I will say that my adjusted gross income for 2020, it was enough to qualify for the Golden State stimulus, even when that income threshold was $30,000. And I filed my taxes, I want to say in late March or early April, and I still have not received my $600 Golden State stimulus. So I'm not quite sure why that is. And again, on this one, if you didn't qualify before and you do now based on those income thresholds, I have not seen a timeline for when they plan on getting that sent out. Hello, Toya. I'm scrolling back up because I lost my place, but thank you again for the donation, and it's good to see you in the chat. I haven't seen you in a little while. Okay, back to the second part of Michael's question about how many work searches do we need to do? Well, first of all, let's keep in mind that it's work search activities. It's not actually just applying for jobs. That's why telling a friend that you're looking for work counts as a work search activity. But again, you want to keep track in a notebook. On 7/10, I joined a Facebook message group for carpenters, and I let them know that I was available to help on their building projects or their next house project. And you would log that in a notebook, what you did. I didn't get a response, or everybody said that that they didn't need extra help, something like that. For people on regular unemployment claims, generally the work search requirement is one job per week. That would be if you're in your first 26 weeks of unemployment benefits. That is not most of us. Most of us are past our first 26 weeks of unemployment benefits. We're on an extension. And for those of us on an extension like PEUC, PEUX, PEUY, extension tier 2, Fed Ed, that's supposed to be 3 work searches a week. So I'm just going to go ahead and recommend to just cover yourself. Make sure that you're doing at least 3 work search activities a week. That's my advice. That is not necessarily official, but if you're doing 3 work search activities a week, you're going to be covered no matter what. Now, is the EDD really going to follow up on this? Not necessarily. They probably do not have the time or the manpower to do that. But if something else came up on your claim, they could request to see a copy of your work search activity. That's why you want to be at minimum logging it in a notebook. Ramil says, do I have to look for work or do work search if I'm on PUA? How about Indeed? Yes, even PUA unemployment claims, those of you who are self-employed or were gig economy workers do need to complete work search activities. So one of the work search activities for a PUA claim can be like if you were an Uber driver, you can apply to drive for Lyft, they say. Or maybe you could apply to drive for Uber Eats or for Instacart. You can apply at like a competing company. Again, networking counts as a work search activity. So maybe I had somebody who was a real estate agent. So maybe you go to an open house and you speak to whoever the realtor is there, and they say, hey, and you say, hey, is the company that you do real estate for, are they taking additional agents right now? Do you need help with your open houses? If you hear anything, please keep me in mind. That would count as a work search activity. There are sometimes networking events that are also fun. I tell a story about how there was a whiskey tasting event when I was working in San Diego. It was a networking event for business professionals. Let's hypothetically say it was in the tech industry, and let's say that you do not know a thing about tech, but you could still go to a networking event, even if it's not an industry that you're familiar with, and you can say, hey, this is my background, and I'm attending this to expand my network. I can work front desk, I can work customer service, I can work in the training department. So maybe you don't know anything necessarily about the industry of the networking event that you're attending, but you could maybe meet some people who could put you in touch with people who might have a good job opportunity for you. And yes, absolutely, if you want to go back to W-2 work, or you want to put whatever services your company offers or that you offer on Indeed, that would count as a work search activity. Thank you guys for saying happy birthday. My birthday is tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and say, Sharon says, do I have to call to get out of pending? Yes, more often than not, you do. I'm going to say, with one exception, if you're just pending from this past Sunday, July 4th, and you're only just pending today, I would give it at least till tomorrow morning, maybe Wednesday morning, basically 72 hours from when you certify for it to switch from pending to paid. But if it's been more than 72 hours and you have not recently filed a new claim, then it's time to call the EDD. Even if you have recently filed a new claim and you're pending and it's been more than 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately, it's time to call the EDD. Keep in mind, this is going to be a really tough week to get a hold of the EDD because their offices were closed on both Sunday and Monday. So that means tomorrow is going to be really heavy call volume. Probably the whole week's going to be a little extra heavy call volume. But for sure, if you can avoid it, don't call tomorrow. Try and call Wednesday through Saturday this week. And if you guys have been holding out on using Claimyr, this might be a good week to go ahead and give them a try. It's $14.99 if you use the discount code linked in the description of the video. And I get that it's kind of wrong to have to pay. It doesn't guarantee it'll fix your claim, but it at least gets you through to talk to an agent. So it's an option if it's a good fit for you. Mike says, happy birthday, thank you. Daniel says, you applied for MEUC on Sunday. When do you think they will respond? I'm not sure. And I'm going to go ahead and say, guys, I have not seen copies of the actual message for applying. I would love if you guys have screenshots of the application process for MEUC, what they actually asked you for, and all that. I would love if somebody could send that to me on my Instagram. My Instagram is Shelly's_millions on Instagram. John Gio says, hello. Albie says, doesn't Indeed and CalJobs each count for one work search activity? Work search. Yes, it would. Now, if you go and you see a job that you like on Indeed, so posting your resume would count as one work search activity. But investigating a company that you want to work for, that would count as a second work search activity. Sending in an application to a specific company would count as a third work search activity. Even poking around on a company's website that you like, maybe you really want to go work for Coldest Water Bottle. So you go to their website, you scroll all the way down. Most companies, most websites are going to have a section at the bottom that says careers. You're going to click it. You're going to find out if they're hiring in your area or if they're hiring remotely. And if they are, maybe you want to apply. And if they're not hiring in your area, you would just write not hiring. Okay, Vanjie, hello. So MEUC, is there a deadline to apply? You might give it a try, but in September when all the PUA and PEUC programs come to an end, is it too late to wait until then? Yes, if you got the text and an invitation to apply for MEUC, that program also, the extra $100 boost also ends September 4th. So, and if you're on PUA, unfortunately, you're not eligible for the extra $100 boost. So that is only for people on traditional unemployment claims or any of the extensions, not PUA, for that extra $100. And to qualify, you would have needed to have $5,000 in net self-unemployment income that you're going to need to prove to the EDD. So if you want that, if you think you qualify for that, do that now. If you don't need the money from it now, put that money in a savings account. You guys, I'm just going to sell you all kinds of stuff today. I really like Yada Savings Bank. It's cool, and it has like the highest savings interest rate of any bank around. So I used to get like a penny from Wells Fargo in interest a month, and I was like, oh, excited about the penny. Now I'm consistently getting, sometimes it's only a couple dollars from Yada, but it all adds up. Even if it's only a couple dollars every month, that's an extra $20, which is half a tank of gas by the end of the year, which is better than my penny from Wells Fargo. So that link's in the description as well. So my point is, save your extra money. It doesn't have to be with the Yada Bank, but save the extra $100 so that you'll have a little bit of a cushion to fall back on when all the programs end on September 4th. That was a really good question. Shantae says, happy early birthday. Thank you very much. Make a wish. I wish that none of you are pending anymore and that you don't have any more problems with your unemployment claims and that you get ahead on your bills and that you reach your goals in life. That's my birthday wish. Thank you. Trini, thank you for the donation. A little nervous to ask about this. Don't be nervous. I'm super friendly and don't mind any questions. Have I heard anything about Congress extending unemployment again after September 6th for Democratic states? What's the least best thing that could happen? That's a loaded question. I don't think anything is going to pass on the federal level, which would mean it would be up to each state individually to come up with something that would extend these unemployment programs. Even in a state as Democratic as California, and where our unemployment rate has not improved as much as some of the other states, I'm not sure that they're going to extend the programs again. Now, FedEd might be an option if you're on a regular unemployment claim and California's unemployment rate is still above 6% after September 4th. But I think maybe all California has the budget to do without federal funding is possibly that $600 Golden State stimulus that they're sending out. I am not hearing that they are planning on extending the benefits past. I know you said September 6th. That's the official end date, but the last payable week here in California will be the week ending September 4th. And on the federal level, it's just going to be so hard to get passed because you need both Republicans and Democrats playing together. And with so many of the Republican states and even one Democratic state opting to try and end their unemployment benefits programs early, that is not going well for them, by the way, guys. Some of those states have been sued and the courts are finding in the favor of the people who are on unemployment. And that makes me really happy. It makes me really sad, like when people are not getting the money that they thought that they could rely on. So I'm glad that those states some of them have not been allowed to end those programs early. Of course, it's all going to be tied up in court decisions and people appealing and fighting it and overturning it. And then if they've already stopped giving the extra benefits, they're going to have to figure out how to get it restarted again. And it's going to be problematic. And people in those states where unemployment benefits were ended early, even if they have to reinstate them, it's probably going to take a while for those people to get paid. And so, Daniel, I'm not sure when they're going to respond about when you'll get the MEUC money. It's the EDD, though, so I would not expect it to happen anytime soon. I'm thinking it honestly could take months. I think there's about when's the deadline? There is a deadline to apply. I can't remember off the top of my head what that is, but I would be surprised. Now, the EDD has surprised me before, but I would be surprised if they have time to go through that paperwork, see who's owed the money really before that deadline. I almost think that they'll wait to go through that paperwork until the deadline has come and gone, then look at it and then get people paid their money. It could be quite a while. I would love it if it's not. So that's part of my birthday wish too, that they get that extra money to you guys quickly if you're eligible for it. Let's see here. Jillian says, is it only 9 more weeks left until all unemployment programs related to the pandemic will end? 9 weeks. If the job search list page does pop up again for me, it isn't that long until all this ends. That's correct. We are at the tail end of all of these programs. I almost want to say that I counted only 8 weeks. It's the week ending September 4th. So we are really nearing the end of our unemployment benefits now. 9 weeks, 2 months. It is coming to an end very soon. And this is why, even if you don't have to list the places that you're applying for the work search requirements, I really recommend right now, you guys, the people that are unemployed, have the upper hand when you're searching for a job with a prospective employer. People are offering sign-on bonuses. They're willing to give you maybe more vacation time or, maybe better health insurance or more just PTO, paid time off in general, maybe higher starting wages. I really think that if you can get a head start on looking for a job right now, that ultimately is going to work in your favor, versus when everybody is not on unemployment anymore in September. I think the job market's going to get real tight, and that the employers are going to have the upper hand, that they're going to have a lot of people to pick from at that time. And it might be really difficult to find a job. So anything that you can do to get a head start on that early, I would recommend. Now, I understand a lot of people are not able to still having childcare issues or anything, but a lot of places do have work from home opportunities. I think I shared with you guys J.C. Penney, the department store, is one of the places that I was looking at when I was completing my work search activities, and they were hiring for remote work. But yeah, it's coming to an end. It's going to be there really suddenly. Yeah, so I will probably be sharing like interview tips and resume tips and things like that as we get closer to that. Johnny says, I did my new benefit year application 2 weeks ago. I did ID me and I got approved along with the extension. I'm stuck on pending. What do I do? So if it's only been 2 weeks, every time you file a new claim, the whole claim goes into review, and that process can take between 2 and 3 weeks. Really, after about week 3, maybe even now, you can call the EDD and they should be able to push those payments through to you. So, yeah. It's if you don't call this week, I would definitely recommend calling them next week. But all new claims, once you hit that file a new claim button, all the claims go into a review by a third party. And originally it was taking between 2 and 6 weeks, but really after, sometimes as early as the second week, but really after the third week, most of the reps will be able to push the payments through. Make sure when you call them to use the term experiencing financial hardship. I'm experiencing financial hardship since I haven't been paid in the last 2 weeks. Is there anything you can do to help push those payments through? Siegel, hello, should I call in and ask a tier 2 rep to clear the next quarterly review, or would you just wait until the next certification if it is stuck and pending, then call like a madman? They're not going to be able to remove the flag early. So the quarterly review flag is going to need to crop up on your claim before you can call and have them clear it. So I hate to recommend this, but unfortunately, I recommend waiting until the claim is stuck on pending until you give it and then give them a call. Mike, you are just amazing. And I don't know if you saw the beginning of this. Thank you so much for the donation. I got your other one. Please let me know what I can do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, truly. Thank you. That means a lot to me. It really does. I got all teary again when I saw that yesterday. Henry, thank you for the donation again. Just like Trini, you're wondering the same thing too. You're sure lots of people wish Congress would extend benefits up to 99 weeks, like in the last recession, which for most would be until 2021. Yeah, and it just doesn't look like it's going that way. I know a lot of people need it. A lot of people want it. I just don't see both sides. And I could be surprised. I don't know. Congress sometimes like surprises me and blows my mind. But with so many Republican states trying to end the programs early, I just don't see them extending it. And I don't want to get your hopes up that would happen. Here's the thing, right? If I say, no, it's not going to happen, I don't know, I'm not a mind reader. That's my opinion for sure that it's not going to be extended. But if I say that and then I'm wrong, you guys might be like, we don't trust Shelly anymore because she's wrong. But at least I didn't say, yeah, I think it's going to happen. And then you get your hopes up and then it doesn't happen. Then I would be letting myself down. I would hate so much to say that I thought a program was going to be around and have people maybe not look as hard for the job of their dreams right now, only to find out that it wasn't extended. And you know what I mean? My opinion is that it's not going to be extended on the federal level. I'm almost certain it won't be extended. But again, I've been surprised before. So maybe something will happen and it will. It would be more likely on a state level, but again, kind of what I think the state of California is given to the people is that $600 Golden State stimulus. Beyond that, I'm not sure that we have extra money in our budget that would fund anything extra. Martin, you're ready for the work search. All right, well, that is awesome. I'm glad that you're ready. Get a notebook and tell your friends that you're looking for work. Oscar says, you're starting a new job this Wednesday. Can I certify this coming Sunday? Yeah, absolutely. If it's a W-2 job where you're on their payroll and they're paying you, every 2 weeks, unfortunately, when you certify on Sunday, you will need to report any hours that you worked for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday of this week, even though you haven't been paid yet. But yeah, you can absolutely certify and then see if you qualify even with your wages. So yeah, I actually recommend once you've returned to work to certify for a couple certification cycles, because if you're not quite getting the hours that you used to, or maybe you're making less money than you used to, it is possible that you might still qualify for benefits. So it doesn't hurt to certify and see if you still qualify for some benefits. Joel says, I drove for Uber, but EDD took all my wages and classified me as an employee. For the MEUC, if I send the same wage info, can that ruin my claim? It's the same info they asked for before. Am I eligible? Joel, I am going to need to look into that more. I am not sure. I don't know, and I don't want to steer you the wrong way. I will look into that. That is a really good question. If they invited you to apply, I think I would. Okay, this is what I personally would do. I'm not necessarily saying that this is what you should do, because you guys know that with the EDD, it is very easy to accidentally mess up your claim, or for them to accidentally mess up your claim. And I wouldn't want to tell you anything that would make that happen. In my own personal situation, if that were me, what I would do is I would send them that copy of your tax refund or your tax return that showed the net income of $5,000, and I would let them sort it out. That's what I would do. And then if you get it, great. If you don't, that sucks. I would really hate though if that did cause you issues on your claim. But I will look into that, because that's a really good question. EJ says, why can't I certify online, and how long will it be like that? This is stupid. EJ, here's a couple things. You want to try to find an old email in your just regular email inbox from EDD UI. There should be a blue link that you can follow there in order to certify for benefits. If that doesn't work, you can try switching browsers. Like a lot of iPhones use Safari. So you could try logging onto the EDD website using something like Google Chrome. For some people, it's working if they borrow a friend or a relative's cell phone. Like, you basically want to clear your cookies and your browsing history and then like refresh. And so if you use a friend's phone where you've never logged on before, it's not going to have any of that stuff stored. I'm not good with like removing cookies. Like, if you guys asked me how to do that, I would not be able to tell you to do that. But like, that's working for a lot of people, clearing your cache, clearing your browsing history, and then trying to log back on. So you should be able to certify that way. And maybe telecert might be an option for you as well. But yeah, what's working for a lot of people is finding an old email from the EDD and then following that link. For some people too, trying UI mobile instead of just UI online might work. And you can choose UI mobile even if you're on a desktop or laptop. And you, of course, can choose that if you're on your phone. Peace Control said, so do I need to apply for Cal jobs like ASAP? I am not a new claim, but a grandfather claim. Not necessarily. So I think the wording is basically like, we recommend that you sign up for Cal jobs. And if you don't, we may ask you to. This may delay your payments. This may cause a problem on your claim. So it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and sign up for Cal jobs. But there are other work search activities that would fulfill the work search requirement. Oh, lots of donations tonight. Thank you guys. I want to make sure that I get to lots of people who aren't able to donate as well, but I do really appreciate them. Thank you, Trini. In my opinion, is it true that many employers are having a hard time hiring people to work at their site? It's sad that there's so much uncertainty right now, along with the Delta variant. This is a really tricky subject for me. So I'm only going to speak from my personal experience, and you asked me for my opinion, and thank you for the donation. There's a lot of factors going on right now. I'm a manager at my job, which means that it's me calling the employees back. We're working with our employees. If they don't feel safe coming back, we're not like, oh, we're going to tell EDD that you called us and you refused work. We're not doing that. We're saying, okay, well, when we're bringing back the next batch of people, we'll call and see like if your opinion has changed. I do have a lot of employees who have agreed to come back, but they're like, since we are working with people, they're like, we only want to work 1 or 2 shifts because we want to still be getting our unemployment benefits, like the extra $300 weekly boost. So it's frustrating sometimes because you want your employees to come back, but you also as an employer, it's not my money, but I was a salaried manager, guys, and 100% I was bringing home more money on unemployment than I was in this salaried manager position at my company. So I get it. That means, and I'm like the second top person at my location. So that means if I was making more on unemployment, all 60 people under me were also making more on unemployment. Los Angeles is incredibly expensive, and we do care about our employees, but the company's not able to pay them more. We start off at $1 more than minimum wage at a movie theater, and we can't afford to pay them more than that and still be profitable, especially because business levels haven't returned. So yes, we're having trouble even with our own staff wanting to come back. Now, in other businesses, that probably does create the need for more employees who also don't want to come back. It is most likely, though, kind of these jobs that are either minimum wage or kind of near minimum wage. And I will also say that even though I was bringing home more on unemployment, that's because of some other factors. For example, I wasn't paying for health insurance, and my health insurance costs are pretty expensive at my company. I want to say they're like $170 a check. When I was on unemployment, that wasn't coming out of my check. I contribute to my 401k, and I love that. And I hope if you guys have that available to you that you're doing that as well. But there weren't any 401k contributions coming out of my unemployment check. But my actual take-home pay from unemployment was more than my actual take-home pay from my job. So it feels like you're losing money. And I understand why people would not want to return to work to lose money. But here is my concern. I'm just being honest with you guys. The people that I've brought back, right, that want 1 or 2 shifts, we can do that now. But I am not magically going to have 4 or 5 shifts for these people in September. So then what happens? They're either going to have to quit, and then they're going to have to look for another job as well, or hopefully business will increase and I can give them more hours. But that's my concern, is that if you don't go back now, what happens, in September? That's really my worry. But yeah, I mean, I do think in some cases that companies are having trouble hiring. I'm not sure if it's really great jobs, but shoot for the job of your dreams right now. And I do recommend looking as hard as you can right now, because I really do. I care about everybody. I really know a lot of your backstories, and I want you to have a comfortable life and a life that you can sustain after September. Excuse me. I'm going to take a drink of water from my coldest water bottle, which means it's time to like the video. Oh boy. Yeah, I just don't want Oh, what is up with my throat, my voice? I don't want any of you to struggle. And I think getting it, sorry, I'll get my voice together. I think the more the more you start looking for your dream job now, the better your chances are of landing it. Oh. Okay. But yeah, so it is true that employers are looking and they can't find people, but I don't know if it's truly quality jobs. Okay, I might need to start scrolling around here. Sean. Oh, Sean. Hello. Thank you. Thank you, Trini. Shoot, Crispy. Let's do Crispy's and then I'm gonna scroll back up to Sean's. You are welcome. Yep. Crispy says that he's been looking every day for a second remote job. It's a grind, but he wants to be secured before September. And Crispy recommended 2 companies. Crispy, did I erased those. I wrote them down on yesterday's live and now. So Crispy, can you share, if you don't mind, now we're going to have all these 173 people going with you. Can you share those 2 places that you are using to look for remote work? Again, I cannot believe, no. Angel List and Hitmaker are the ones that he recommended for looking for work from home work. Okay. Let's see here. Eliza says, my extension is going to run out well before September, and I've already had 2 extensions. Does that mean I should call for a third? Am I just done? You are not just done. You shouldn't even need to call. Now, shouldn't doesn't mean that you want, I forgot to put my sponsored water bottle. Sponsored video by Coldest Water, guys. 10% off using code millions of your entire order. And they do a free weekly giveaway that you can enter using the link in the description down below. I put my sponsored water bottle back. Oops, I'm very naughty. It's supposed to be automatic that they put the next extension in place for you, but a lot of times it's not. So here's what happens. Your claim balance is going to hit 0. After your claim balance hits 0, you might see the maximum benefits paid message. You might not, but it's normal if you do. It's also normal if you don't. So don't worry about that either way. Your balance is not going to increase for 2 weeks until you certify for benefits again. And that's when the claim balance goes up. So, and it should be automatic, and that extension will take you to the week ending September 4th. It's going to say you've got a 29-week extension, but you're not going to get all 29 weeks of it. So again, it should be automatic, but if for any reason, 2 weeks from the time your claim balance hits 0 rolls around and you don't have like the button to certify, or you can't certify at all, that's when you would need to call the EDD. Or if after you certify, you don't see the claim balance go up, then you would need to call and say, hey, I need the next extension added to my claim. Also, about 5 to 7 business days after your claim balance hits $0, you should get a note either in your UI online inbox or text or a physical letter that says that you're eligible for the next extension. Yep, boom bangin' says, I'm PUA, am I required to show job searches? Not necessarily show them. You need to answer yes to did you look for work, and then you need to keep track at minimum. I recommend listing them. That's going to be the best way to ensure that your claim doesn't have hiccups or delays. But at minimum, you need to keep track of your work search activities, like in a notebook. Things that count for PUA unemployment claimants are things like networking events. If you were like an Uber driver applying at a competitor company would count. I didn't say that right, but you guys know what I mean. So like applying at Lyft or applying for Instacart or something like that, that would count as a work search activity. Anonymous Country says fireworks, and no more fireworks. You guys, right before I did this, they were letting off the biggest fireworks in my neighborhood, and I thought sure you guys were going to be able to hear them. Hannah says, if I have unemployment part-time claim and I got fired, do I open a new claim for more money? If you're within your benefit year, it's not going to let you file a new claim until your benefit year is over. If you're on extension, it's kind of situations like that. I'm going to put a pin in this. It's kind of situations like that that actually are why everyone on a grandfathered claim, claims older than a year, need to go through a quarterly review. They need to make sure that that you haven't had some work somewhere else since you first filed your claim. Now, I put a pin in that because you said fired. And generally, pre-pandemic, when you were fired, you wouldn't necessarily qualify for unemployment benefits, and the EDD would need to review that on a case-by-case basis. So it's going to depend on the reason why you were let go. Your new employer could potentially fight a new unemployment claim. With that said, if you were let go and it was not fair, or if you were let go, if you fight it, if you appeal it, even if your employer says no, they were fired for just cause, more often than not, the EDD sides on the side of the employee, not with the employer. But be careful with all of that. Nabila says, how about an accounting job? You guys, on TikTok, accounting jobs mean something else. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. I saw Sean pop up here. Oops. Siegel says, quarterly H-hole reviews. Are you guys ready to be pending? You really hope that's not the case. Me too. Maybe they've made some improvements, but I'm not sure. Oh, Rosa. Rosa's a member, and I skipped her question. I'm looking for it, Rosa. I'm so sorry. I somehow got lost in these, and then I started skipping around. Rosa. Yes, Sean, you basically just have to say yes to did you look for work? Oh, thank you, Sean. Sean's saying happy birthday and happy 4th of July. Thank you. I'm still looking for Rosa's question, which should be pretty easy to find since she's a member. Her name should show up in green. Oh, dear. All right, Rosa, I'm looking for your question. I definitely want to make sure that I get to it. And again, I am skipping around a little bit, you guys. But I always hope, first of all, I never skip anyone intentionally. Second of all, I always hope that when I'm answering someone else's question, that hopefully it answers your question as well. Sorry, I'm going to take a question because I'm having trouble finding yours. But I'm going to keep looking after this question. After these messages, I'll be right back to looking for other messages. Nay says, you certified this Sunday, the 11th. Do I already list the places I applied for? Or is it next time I certify? A lot of people are unclear about this. My understanding is that it's actually going to be the next certification, because when we certify on the 11th, that's actually for the week ending Saturday, the 10th. So it's my interpretation that it's going to be the week starting the 11th and going through the 17th, that's that first week that you need to do that. Keep in mind, I always recommend answering yes to did you look for work? And even after the certification for the week of July 11th through July 17th, you're not necessarily going to have to list on your certification form the places that you applied. You just need to keep a record of your work search activities. And I do recommend that just in case the EDD asks you. I would prefer if you actually listed where you applied online, because I think that's the most certain way to make sure that there's not problems on your claim. But at minimum, keep a notebook and list your work search activities. You want to list the date. So Saturday, July 17th, who you contacted or what the work search activity was. So Saturday, July 17th, updated my resume, haven't sent it out yet. You want to also put the outcome of your work search activity. Maybe Saturday night, you go to a networking event with other people in your industry or people in an industry that you want to join. And you say, hey, are you hiring at Sony Pictures? Are you hiring at Lionsgate? I don't know anything about the film industry, but I'm really great at customer service, or I can work the front desk, or with training, I can do anything, oh, you don't need anybody for the front desk? Well, maybe somebody at, I don't know, maybe your husband's firm that does something completely not film related. I don't know. You could go to a networking event in the evening. That would count as a second work search activity. Probably, guys, with a networking event, let's say that you made up a flyer for what you do, or you had a business card with your skills listed on it. and you passed that card out to other people, probably each individual person that you talk to would count as a work search activity. Somebody asked me about babysitting, childcare, pet sitting, jobs like that, how you would fulfill that work search requirement. You could put up a flyer at your local laundromat that says, childcare services available, call Shelly. You could go, I don't know why. You could go to your veterinarian's office. You probably can't actually go to a veterinarian's office and leave child care service flyers there, but maybe you could leave pet sitting flyers there. That would count as a work search activity. Yeah, that would count. You could leave a post on one of my videos. You could leave a comment and say, hey, if anybody needs childcare and they're in the Sacramento area, I am available. Don't leave your actual phone. Don't leave your phone numbers though on my video. Just don't leave your phone number on public on the internet if you can avoid it. Okay. Gonna go back and look for Rose's question still. Please answer your question, but I don't see your question. Rosa, if you're still in here, can you please ask your question again? I definitely did not see it. Where is this? All right. Ellie Barbie, hello. How many days do you have to list per week? So again, different claims have different requirements, and they are changing a little bit to work search activities versus actually looking at listing places you applied. For regular claims, your first 26 weeks of benefits, that's generally only one work search activity a week. For the PEUC extensions, for FedEd extension, Ellie Barbie, I know you've been in my chats a lot, so that's going to be you. Usually it's 3 work search activities a week. That's what they're wanting. From the last that I heard about that. But it's super easy. Just say I attended a networking event. I gave my business card to Shelly's Millions to see if she needed an assistant. I gave it to Jenny Silver to see if she needed an assistant. And I gave it to Graham Stephan to see if he needed an assistant. That would count. Getting a business card from a potential employer would count. Joining a Facebook message board and letting people know that you were available there would count. What else would count? All sorts of stuff counts, guys. It's not too hard to do it, even when they're asking for 3 things. Listing your resume on Indeed would count, but researching a company on Indeed that's looking for an employee, that would also count. Okay, let's see. Sebastian, yeah, okay. So if you can't certify, try and find an old email from the EDD, and in that email, there should be a blue link to follow to log on to certify for benefits. A lot of people suggesting a different browser. So like an iPhone uses Safari, it's the default browser. So if you can use something like Google Chrome, that might work. Clearing your cookies, your browsing history, your cache, doing that, and then trying to log on to certify might work. If you have a friend or a relative's phone that you could use to try and log on to certify for benefits, that might work. You might be able to do telecert if you don't have a PUA claim. Rosa, there you are. I'm so sorry I couldn't find your question, but thank you for asking it again. You need to apply for a new claim. You started working part-time, but didn't work at all last year. Should I call to file a new claim or apply online? Am I still eligible for unemployment? Yes, you should be eligible. So what in your case, I would probably call, because a lot of times it asks for the last employer, and that gets a little confusing even for me. And I've been making these videos for over 1.5 years on unemployment. Are they looking for you to put your actual last full-time employer, or do they want the information of your current part-time employer? I do want you to do this. So I do recommend calling and having them help you with that. Please make sure to let them know that the only reason why you're working part-time is because they're not able to, it's limited hours, or reduced hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's going to be really important that you stress that that's the reason why they're not giving you full-time hours, is that it's still related to the pandemic. And yes, you should qualify for an extension. I do recommend calling and having them help you file a new claim online. And Ellie Barbie, thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. She's saying she doesn't know what she'd do without my help during the pandemic. A lot of you guys might be new to the channel, and if you are, welcome. I hope I can help you with your claims. Actually, I hope that you don't need my help with your claims because that they all go well. But I have been doing this really since the start, since March 28th, 2020. I haven't been making as many videos recently because I have returned to work and it's a lot to keep up with. I really enjoy it. I love hearing your success stories on when you got paid and how things are moving along. So yeah, thank you. Okay, Robin says, I was extended 29 weeks, but no certify button for me to certify. It just tells me that I've depleted all my benefits. So has it been a full 2 weeks since your claim balance hit 0? Unfortunately, if it has, you'll need to call the EDD to have them add that button back. TL2 says hi. I like the wavy emoji. I'm scrolling around, guys. Kevin says, 1 year since original certification. Do you file a new claim? If it pops up, or wait till EDD files for you. No email from the EDD, just saying I'm at the end of my benefit year and haven't worked since January 2020 or January 20th. So the EDD is supposed to automatically file a new claim for you if they can look and see that you haven't had wage history in the last 18 months. So more than a year. If you do have some wage history in the last 18 months, you might need to file a new claim. And one of the ways, get this, guys, this is so typical of the EDD. One of the ways that you can tell if the EDD is going to automatically file the extension for you, or if you need to file a new claim, is by filing a new claim. So if you see that option to file a new claim, I do recommend going ahead and trying to file a new claim. If it lets you file a new claim, that means that you need to file a new claim. And if it doesn't let you, then if it stops you, if it doesn't let you complete the procedure, that's supposed to mean that the EDD will automatically take care of it for you. And you guys know that I'm a little bit hesitant and a little bit distrustful anytime the EDD says something's supposed to be automatic. Even when you guys are asking me about the next extension and will that be automatic, I am very careful to say it should be automatic, but it's the EDD. So a lot of times things that should be automatic are not, and they require a phone call. And in that case, Kevin, you can call the EDD and ask them. And if they say, yes, you need to file a new claim, you can say, well, can you help me do that over the phone since I'm on the phone with you? And I haven't worked at all since my initial claim. Saying I haven't worked at all since my initial claim should be able to help them move the process along faster. Hello, Myra. What if we are already working part-time on the work search? Do we put the same job we're already working at? Myra, this is my advice. It's a great question. This is going to be my recommendation. I recommend definitely answering yes to, did you search for work? And you're not supposed to actually have to list where you looked or your work search activities necessarily on your certification. You just need to keep track of your work search activities. So at minimum, in your case, I recommend answering yes to, did you look for work? And then in a notebook or something, just, say, I talked to my Aunt Rosie and asked her if she needed help at her child care facility, but she doesn't. She's all good. She said no. Just kind of, and maybe lightheartedly look around. Maybe full-heartedly look for a job that can offer you more hours, or maybe the same hours but with more pay. I think that's one of the greatest lessons I took away from the pandemic. Mr. Lopez, I'll get your question next. I do love the company I work for. I love the movie theater that I work for. I have been there for more than 25 years. I honestly can't remember if it's going to be 26 or 27 this year, but I've worked there a long time. But the way they let us go so suddenly. And I don't really think they had any options. It just didn't feel good. Maybe there's a better fit for me out there than the place where I'm currently working. I would love if I could make YouTube work full time and really be my own boss, because then I'm relying on myself. Relying on an employer where this could potentially happen again is so scary to me. So if they're not valuing you, if you don't absolutely love it and they're not giving you full time, maybe really look for a job that is just really your dream job. Even if you don't think you're qualified, what does it hurt to apply? I bumped into my coldest water bottle where you can get 10% off your entire order by using code millions, which is the coolest bonus code ever, by the way. Or enter a weekly giveaway to win a free water bottle, because this video is sponsored by Coldest Water Bottle. Mr. Lopez. Sorry, I have to do that every so often. I'm almost done. I do love my water bottle. But I am almost done with the number of videos that I need to make for them that are sponsored. My benefit year will end on July 18th. Will I get a third extension? Yes, you will, and it should be automatic. So if you've had 2 PEUC extensions already, the third one is going to say it's a 29-week PEUC extension. It's not going to last a full 29 weeks. That extension is going to end the week ending September 4th. Again, it should be automatic. After your benefit year ends, even if you have a claim balance, or you're just saying your claim balance is going to end then. Either way, if your claim balance and your benefit year end at the same time, your claim balance hits 0. You may or may not see the maximum benefits paid message. Either of those scenarios is normal. 5 to 7 business days after your claim balance hits 0 is when you would get the email about an additional 29-week extension, but your claim balance is going to stay at 0 all the way until you certify again in 2 weeks. And that's when you'd see the claim balance go up. Now, if you still have a claim balance left on your claim, but your benefit year is ending, the EDD is supposed to kind of check and see if you have enough wage history in the last 18 months to see if you need to file a new claim or not. And if not, they're supposed to automatically take care of things for you. But if you do have enough wage history in the last 18 months, they are going to want you to file a new claim. And you can either file a new claim yourself online, or you can call the EDD and have them help you file a new claim with you over the phone online. If you haven't worked at all since you first filed for benefits, and you do it with a rep over the phone and you tell them I haven't worked at all since I first applied, that can sometimes be faster. Although I had other people tell me it was faster to just do it themselves online because you don't have to spend the time trying to call and get through to the EDD. Did 4th of July hold back a payment for a day? For the majority of you this time, it did not. But it's always common. Every time I've seen on the holidays, it is common for things to get delayed by about a day. If your payment doesn't hit by tomorrow morning, that's when I would think about calling the EDD. Haley says you received your second PEUC extension yesterday and you certified yesterday, and now it says it's stuck on pending and not paid. My claim doesn't end until September 12th. Could it be because of the holiday? It could be. Also, has your benefit year ended? If one of the weeks if either of those weeks are outside of your original benefit year after your first 12 months of certifying for benefits, that can be what gets it stuck on pending. So Haley, that's kind of the same question that Jay just asked. Some people are pending and it is because of the holiday. So if it hasn't switched to paid by tomorrow morning, and if it's not actually loaded onto your EDD debit card by tomorrow morning, that's when I would consider calling them. And if your benefit year has ended, definitely give them a call and find out if you need to file a new claim. SK said they filed for you automatically, but you haven't received 3 weeks of certified hours. What should I do? It's super stressful. 3 weeks is definitely enough time that if you call the EDD, they should be able to push those pending payments through to you. So when you call about the pending payments, you're going to want to make sure to say, I am experiencing financial hardship since I have not been paid in the last 3 weeks. Is there anything that you can do to help push those payments through? With that said, this seems like a good time to remind everybody that because the EDD was closed both yesterday, Sunday, July 4th, and today, Monday, July 5th, tomorrow it is going to be very difficult to, like it's always very difficult to get through to the EDD, but tomorrow's going to be like exponentially worse. So this week, I don't even recommend to start trying to call the EDD until Wednesday. Try calling Wednesday through Saturday this week, either right when they open from 8 a.m. to about 8:15 or later in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4. I never recommend calling after 6 because by then there's so many people in queue holding to speak to a tier 2 rep that you're not going to get to them before they close at 8. After the long intro message, quickly hit 1, 3, 4. It's not option 1, option 3, option 4. It's like after the long intro message, quickly boop, 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 1, 3, 4. That's still working sometimes, not all the time. And Claimyr might be a good fit for you. If you've never used Claimyr before, I've got that $5 discount code linked in the description down below. And it doesn't guarantee you're going to get a good rep that will help you with your claim, but at least it gets you through to the point of holding versus like dialing yourself over and over again and never even getting to hold. So that's might be a good fit for you as well. Thank you, Bernie. Rob says, I have a part-time job I can go back to. I really like having 2 part-time jobs instead of 1 full-time job. So yeah, so go back to the 1 full-time job, continue to certify benefits, make sure to say that you're working reduced hours still because of the pandemic. And then hopefully your second part-time job will call you back, or you'll find another second part-time job that you also really enjoy working at. Sorry if I missed the first part of the question. I hope that made sense. I'm scrolling all around. JJD55 says, thank you. You are welcome. Let's see. Okay, Gil says, I'm going to return to work with my last employer in September. How can I handle my work search requirement, knowing it makes no sense since I'm going to be recalled? So here's the thing, right? In your exact situation, it actually does say, I don't want you to do this, right? But technically, it does say that it would be okay to answer no, that you're not looking for work. Having a definite return to work date from your employer is one of the situations where you could answer no to did you search for work. The reason why I don't recommend doing that, if that would be an acceptable reason, is because under the list of acceptable reasons to answer no to did you search for work, it says basically like that the EDD needs to look at it on a case-by-case basis, and they may need to have a determination interview with you. So if you answer no to did you look for work, it means that you could potentially get stuck on pending until the EDD has a phone interview with you. So here's the deal, Gil. Even if you love the job that you're going to go back to in September, how much do you love it? Do you love it? Like, let's say that there's another that you search for a job from a competitor, right? I work in a movie theater. So let's say you apply at AMC. That's not the one I work at. It's a competitor. So I apply at AMC. Do I love my current company enough that if AMC offered me $20,000 more, that I would stay at my current company? I don't know. So like maybe apply at other places. Like maybe you will find a job that pays you more than the job you're going back to in September. So what's the harm in looking? Also, maybe you've considered jumping industries. So maybe you apply at one other place in a different industry. Maybe even though you're going back full-time, maybe you also want a part-time job. So you apply at some places that you think you could do part-time. And also, you don't actually have to apply. You just have to do work search activities. So maybe your work search activity, it literally says you can tell friends that you're looking for work. That is literally something that qualifies as a work search activity. So maybe, Gil, you go to your best friend, Sam. I don't know your best friend's name. Your best friend, Sam. And you say, hey, Sam, I'm not going back to work until September. Do you have any work for me that I can do with you? In between then? Oh, no, Sam, you're looking for work too. Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay, well, keep me posted if you find anything for me. Like you could and then keep record of it. On Saturday, July 17th, I asked Sam if he knew of any work I might be able to do, and he said no. And then you're covered. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to flat out lie and say they looked for work if they didn't. I don't want to encourage that. But the EDD is probably not going to have time to check, but I do recommend at minimum keeping a record of your work search activities in case something happens on your claim and they ask you for that. Yeah, that's going to be my recommendation. With that said, they do say that is an acceptable reason to answer no to did you search for work, but I'm just hesitant to encourage anyone to actually do that because I don't want anybody's claim to get stuck on pending. And with the EDD, it seems like every little thing, even if it's their fault, even if it makes no sense, can cause you to get stuck on pending. And I'm actually going to further that, Gil, and tell you a little story. Sorry, guys. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. For the longest time, this actually came up before. Like the EDD says that for all this time, technically you could have answered no to the question, did you search for work? Well, I had an employee. I actually had a couple employees, and they had been answering no to that question every single week. And then at some point, the EDD decided to flag their accounts for pending. It wasn't right away. For weeks and weeks and weeks, they answered no. Or sorry. The question is there any other reason than sickness or your health, basically, why you were unable to look for work? And my employees answered yes to that question. And then it gives you a little sentence where you can write an explanation. And they wrote, yes, because my job is temporarily closed due to the, mandatory state closures. So yes, the reason why they weren't looking for work wasn't because of sickness or illness. It was because the state had shut us down. And that was the legitimate reason we were closed, but it caused the employee to get stuck on pending. So that's why I don't trust the EDD. They were being truthful, and of course that should be an acceptable reason, but they got stuck on pending and then had to call. I just don't want you guys to get stuck on pending, but I also want you guys to be honest. So maybe you'll find your dream job doing the same thing that pays you $20,000 more. Maybe. Okay. Shoot. I'm skipping around still. Myra says, thanks for your last reply. You appreciate it. You started a new job. Maybe ends weeks of July. You will be working less than 40 hours a week at first, then later on full time. Do I let EDD know I got a new job? So what you're going to do is you're going to continue to certify for benefits. And some weeks, maybe you won't work enough hours and you'll still qualify for something from the EDD. And as long as you get at least $1 from the EDD, you also get that extra $300 weekly boost. So just continue to certify. I can't remember. I think it might ask, I can't remember if it's going to ask you the name of your new employer or not, but it's going to ask you, did you work or earn any wages? I think it is going to ask for your new employer. So you may need to put that, but you will answer yes to, did you work or earn any wages? And then you'll tell it how many hours times your rate, or the total amount you earned, and you'll input that. And then that certification form will calculate if you still qualify for any benefits that week or not. Nikki says, your unemployment just ran out 2 weeks ago. Your benefits don't end until September. Do I need to reapply for an extension? Okay, so this is, I don't know if you popped on a little bit earlier. This is one of those situations where I'm always hesitant to say that something will be automatic with the EDD, because often even when the EDD says that something will be automatic, it doesn't wind up being automatic and you end up needing to call. So Nikki, you won't be able to reapply for anything until after December, but you may need to call to get the extension added. So it would be a phone call, not necessarily a reapply situation. So what's going to happen is your claim balance is going to sit at 0 for at least 2 weeks. In about 5 to 7 business days, you should get either a text, a message in your UI online account, or an actual letter letting you know that you're eligible for the next extension. After you get that, your claim balance still isn't going to go up. It's not going to go up until you certify again 2 weeks from the time your claim balance hit 0. So if you can't certify again in 2 weeks, or if the claim balance doesn't go up in those 2 weeks right after you certify, that's when you would need to call. Getting the extensions added on to your claim is supposed to be an automatic process, but sometimes something funky happens at the EDD and it gets stuck on pending, or you can't certify, or the button to certify is not even there, and you wind up having to call even though it's supposed to be automatic. So my fingers are crossed that that does not happen to you and that you don't need to call. But yeah, so that's what that has to do. It says to check back after the 11th. Oh, that is a good sign if it says to check. If you already have the date that says to check back, that's actually a good sign. So yeah, it'll be at 0 all the way until the 11th. And then I can never remember if it's like right before you certify. I actually think it's right after you certify that you'll see the claim balance increase. The Plutonian says, you're having a heck of a time getting your current employer's tax ID number. Is that something critical for the EDD to have? I keep calling the franchise corporate, but they give me the runaround. Is the EDD asking for that information? If the EDD has asked you for it, I would make your best effort to get that. Did your employer give you a W-2? Generally, their tax ID number is listed on your W-2. From the sound of it, your company might not be, maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Like maybe it shut down permanently. Excuse me. But if it hasn't, you might be able to contact somebody at HR that could get you that information. If the EDD has asked for it, though, I would make every effort to try and get that for them. M says, is it possible to certify for 1 week at a time? Not by choice, but some people are having to certify every week, and we've never figured out why that is. One suspicion is that you guys know that I tell you if you call to let the EDD know that you're experiencing financial hardship. Sometimes saying that phrase unlocks additional tools for the customer service reps to push your pending payments through. But it's called a hardship, like they approve it for hardship reasons, or like a hardship authorization. And sometimes if you've called and you've said that and the reps push the payment through, that seems to trigger weekly certifications. Again, not by your choice. It just ends up how it's being. And then sometimes all of these extensions, so your first 26 weeks, that's an even number. It's divisible by 2. That's 13 certification cycles. So you certify every 2 weeks, but starting with the extensions, they're odd numbers. So the first, am I going to get mixed up? It's been a long time since I've gone through the order of the extension. I think the first was the 13-week extension, right? So that's an odd number of weeks. So you certify for 12 weeks, 6 certification cycles, but then you're left with the odd week of benefits left. So then normally you go back the very next week and you certify for that odd week. Then the next extension was 11 weeks. So again, that's 10 weeks plus the 1 week of odd. So 5 certification cycles, and then you certify for the 1 remaining week. And then the last extension is the same. It's 29 weeks. It's not evenly divisible by 2. So it leaves an odd week. So but not by choice. It's either because you're at the end of an extension and you just certified and you have to go back next week, or maybe you've asked for a hardship. A rep has pushed payments through due to hardship, and that can cause it seems like, to go to a week. If you're certifying weekly, not by choice, I wouldn't worry too much about it as long as you're getting paid. And unfortunately, you can't choose on your own to certify weekly. I hope that answered that question. Collect the toys. Would you collect toys? I collected toys, and then I had to stop because I got too much stuff in my little tiny house. Says, on July 11th, do we have to resume do we have to have your resume uploaded on CalJobs? How are they checking if you're looking for it? Confused on exactly what we should do. There are so many options for completing the work search activities. Now, if you currently already have an unemployment claim, it's recommended, but it is not mandatory to sign up for CalJobs. anyone who files a new claim after July 11th, that means it is mandatory that you upload your resume onto CalJobs. But for you, collect the toys. Something that would count as a work search activity is you can actually go on the CalJobs website and you can search for jobs as a guest. So looking for work counts as a work search activity. So your username is collect the toys. So maybe you want to let me think of a toy company. Who puts out cool toys? I don't know. Not Beanie Babies. Maybe you want to work for Beanie Babies. I don't know. Thai Beanie Babies. So, and I don't know if they're on CalJobs, but you could also go to the Thai Beanie Babies website, scroll to the bottom of that website, and there's usually a careers section on a website. You can see if they're hiring. Oh, McFarland makes cool toys, right? They make like action figures. You could go to the McFarland Toys website, scroll to the bottom, look at careers, see if they're hiring in your area. If they're not hiring in your area, you would put not hiring. So the work search activities are really easy to fulfill. Also, collect the toys. Maybe you want to work at a comic book shop that also sells collectible toys. So you go to Golden Apple Comics in Los Angeles and you see if they're hiring. Maybe you want to work at a pawn shop and appraise people who are trying to sell their Pokemon cards. Maybe pawn shops don't do that, but guess what? If you go in and you ask, you just did a work search activity. So there's lots of things will count, and you're not actually going to have to. I recommend listing the places you applied, but really what they're looking for is the yes answer to the question, did you look for work? And then if you don't actually list on your certification page where you applied and the outcome and such, do please keep a record of it at minimum on a notebook of the date you did the work search activity. So Saturday, July 17th, went to Golden Apple Comics, asked if they were hiring. Outcome, they're not currently hiring. Outcome, I left them my resume. They're going to call me. Something like that. Patricia, thank you for saying happy birthday. My birthday is really soon now. It's 2 hours. Okay. And I'm in a much better mood than I was in yesterday. I have to flip the script. I want you guys to be positive. And I said, oh, always before my birthday, I get into a funk. Well, maybe it's because I put in the universe that always before my birthday, I get into a funk. So I am going to be 44 years young tomorrow, but I need to start putting in the universe that I'm going to have an awesome birthday and I'm in a great mood. Fake it till you make it, even if that's not true. Okay. Shantae says, you got the MEUC email. Was self-employed in 2020, but the questions ask about 2019, only because when I refiled at 1 year in 2021, they put me back on the 2020 PEUC claim. Them doing that forces the 2019 question. Okay, so that's super complicated. I'm going to try and break it down, and I hope I get it right. So basically, the whole MEUC program exists because what happens is if you have both regular unemployment, W-2 wages, and self-employment wages, by law, the EDD had to pay you based on your W-2 wages, even if that was not your primary source of income. So let's go back to the toy collection scenario. Let's say that you were self-employed and your whole job was reselling collectors' items, toys online, and you were self-employed, and that is how you made the most of your money. But let's say you also loved movies, and so one day a week, you worked at a movie theater for the perk of seeing free movies, right? The EDD was not legally allowed to count your major source of income, reselling toys on eBay, when calculating your weekly benefit amount, they would have had to use the 1 day a week that you worked at the movie theater for minimum wage as the source to get your weekly benefit amount. And to make up for that, the MEUC program was approved on the federal level. That gives people in that situation, it's kind of like, hey, we're sorry we didn't use the major source of your income to calculate your weekly benefit amount. So here's an extra $100 a week to try and compensate for that. And basically, if at any point you qualify for a traditional unemployment claim, they need to keep you on the traditional unemployment claim. So that is why they're asking for that 2019 income. So if you didn't have any self-unemployment income in 2019 and that's what they're asking for, then you might not qualify for the extra $100 a week. I hope that made sense and I hope that answered the question. Okay. And just for the sake of curiosity, it's not necessarily going to change anything, but I just want to confirm that for the year 2020, you had more than $5,000 in net self-unemployment income. If so, congratulations, and I'm really happy for you. That's wonderful. A lot of people in their first year of self-employment do not make a lot in net income. For example, I started my YouTube channel in 2020 because of expenses like this laptop that I'm doing the live stream on, this light that's now shining in my glasses that I bought to have better lighting in the videos, the microphone that's right here that plugs into my cell phone, which, by the way, you guys, if you ever are doing a YouTube channel, I don't know what this is. I have this linked in it's an MV88, a Shure MV88, and this improved the sound on my videos like you would not believe. This little thing, and it just plugs in right where you charge your iPhone. But it is a $200 microphone, but it improved the quality of my videos. So I basically made no money. I bought other things too, that, you guys wouldn't even necessarily notice. The dry erase map that's sometimes in the background when I do these lives. Basically, I had so many expenses, I really didn't make any money from YouTube in 2020. So a lot of businesses, when you're reporting net income, don't have profits in 2020. So hypothetically, I don't think it would matter, but you did have more than $5,000 net income from your self-employment in 2020. Okay. Thank you, the Plutonian, for the blessings for my birthday. Yep, my birthday is in 2 hours. Okay, so Rolanda says, if you work part-time, do we have to do work search? Yes, because the EDD really wants you to be employed full-time. So again, like if you're only working part-time, maybe try and find a full-time job. Maybe apply for a second part-time job. Maybe a work search activity could be asking your current employer if they were able to offer you more hours. That would count as a work search activity. Getting your resume ready in case there's the Delta variant throws us all off course and we're in the same situation again. Getting your resume ready counts as a work search activity. Even if you're currently working part-time, it is my understanding that the EDD wants you to look for full-time employment or do work search activities. And again, work search activities can be telling your friend that you're looking for work. Maybe the collectible toy person decides, I don't want to work for someone else. I want to take my business to the next level, and they open their own comic book shop that also sells collectible toys. Maybe you're friends with them and you say, hey, do you need an assistant? You want to work the morning shift, or do you need anybody to work the night shift? And they say no. Well, but guess what? You told a friend you were looking for work and you asked them if they had work for you. You just completed a work search activity. Okay. Celebrity Plus Entertainment, thank you so much for saying happy birthday. Chastity says, what to do if appointment rep phone interview hung up on you? I'm like mad for you about that. Oh my goodness. there's always 4 things you can do, right? You can try calling the EDD yourself. I know it's going to be hard to get through. On that, I would use the Ask EDD feature on the UI Online EDD, website, and I would use the Ask EDD feature and tell them what happened. There's also the Contact Us section once you're actually logged on to the website, and I would let them know what happened. And lastly, and this is probably the best advice I have for you on this, is in the link in the description of this video, is how to find your assembly member. Please, please find your assembly member, email them, let them know what happened, and ask them if they can please help you. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, literally, that is so unacceptable to me. Here is what I feel like the EDD really needs, and I don't know why they can't do this. The EDD needs a customer service satisfaction survey. One of those, was the rep knowledgeable and helpful? Press 1 for yes or 2 for no. They need that survey at the end of our phone calls to the EDD customer service representatives. If they added that, it would do a few things. 1, the EDD would know if the rep finished the call, because if they hung up on us or got disconnected, we wouldn't be able to take the survey. So if a certain rep was never having surveys completed, EDD would know that that rep was hanging up on us intentionally. Number 2, if we did get a bad rep, we could press no, they weren't helpful, or no, they weren't nice. And then usually the other question that they ask on those is, did the rep help you with what you called for today? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. And then we'd all be pressing no. And then the EDD would know. But someone would have to care at the EDD, or there would have to be the manpower to go through this. But really, I just wish that they would add that. I feel like that would be so helpful. I don't feel like that would be that hard to do. So Jenny Silver, you seem to be making some progress with the EDD. You got to get on that. Jenny Silver needs to be my voice now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Delana says, you saw another YouTube video that says there's a Delta Plus now. There is. I think I saw that in a news article today. I have not had time to research that. I hope it's been a ride this year. I hope that we all are okay and safe and healthy. I really do. Oh, George, what's your question? Let me scroll up. Sean Gio, thank you for saying happy birthday. Jamar, oh my God, I just now saw, I didn't see that pop up. Thank you so much for the donation, and thank you for saying it's good lighting. It's that YouTube lighting I bought that didn't land me with much net income from last year. What do they call it? Like, it's a Monet, like it looks good from far away, but up close it's a mess. Thank you. And thank you for the donation. Yeah, 44, 1977. Okay, George says, I applied 2 weeks ago and my first certification yesterday and was paid. So when do I get my debit card? How many days before I get my EDD card? I need answers, please. I am happy to answer you, George. I'm sorry that you are needing unemployment benefits. I hope that we've paved the way for you for it to be easier for you. The answer is in about 10 business days or less, but keep in mind that today is the observed holiday, and that's 10 days from when your certification switches to paid on your UI Online homepage. So on the same page that you certified for your benefits, you're either going to see a status that says pending or paid. For those of us who have gone back to work, we might see something that says fully employed or something that says excessive earnings. But 10 business days after you see that payment status on your UI Online homepage switch to paid, 10 business days after that is when you should have that Bank of America EDD debit card in your hands. That's actually my number one video, guys. That was one of my first videos that I made, and I have a video on how long does it take, I think is what I called it. So 10 business days. Today won't count. I can't remember if Saturday counts as a business day. I don't think it does. Sunday definitely doesn't count. 10 business days. And since you're new, George, I got to tell you this, please, set up automatic transfers to a regular bank account. People have a lot of, they get their cards compromised. These cards, I guess, don't have a chip, so they're very easy to, like, I don't know, get the money taken off of them. So please protect your card. There's a way, once you get the debit card, you'll be able to log on. You'll go to like My Money transfers. I didn't realize this at the time, but you can actually transfer entire amounts. So like maybe some weeks you're going to want to have taxes withheld from your benefits and maybe other weeks you won't. Maybe you're not sure if they're going to start giving you the $100 a week extra boost. Sorry, that's for mixed income earners. You might not qualify for that. But other weeks you don't. So, and for you, if your claim is just starting, your claim is going to be good for 26 weeks. You're going to have the weeks through September 4th will come with that extra $300 a week weekly benefit amount, but after that it won't. So my point is, you might not know each week how much your unemployment check is going to be. It might change. I used to think that you had to know the exact amount you were going to get in order to set up automatic transfers, but that is not true. You're just going to set up automatic transfers for entire amount and do that into your regular bank account. Miss Lady Lex says, where's the party? You guys, this is kind of sad. This is why in the past, but it's not going to be like this going forward, I would like sit at home and like boo-hoo. I was like, nobody's taking me out for my birthday. So I texted my friend and I was like, well, you have school Tuesday, right? And we work together. She goes, you should have had somebody cover your shift already. You should have thought about that, Shelly. And I was like, I am not calling you to cover my shift. I have the day off. I do normally work Tuesdays. I was like, I'm calling to see if you want to hang out. And she was like, oh. And she lives in an apartment complex with a pool. And it's her and her girlfriend. They just got a new puppy. So I get to meet the puppy. I love puppies. I'm an animal lover. So I'm going to meet the puppy and we're going to go swimming. And her girlfriend's going to barbecue. Her girlfriend's doesn't like swimming. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I'm going swimming. And my friend who thought I was only asking her to cover my shift, her girlfriend's going to barbecue for us. Anyway, but at least I'm not going to be home feeling sorry for myself. Okay. Okay, you guys. I am going to take a couple more questions. I've gone a long time tonight. So I'm going to take a couple more unemployment questions. Thank you all for the happy birthday wishes. Get your coldest water bottle. They do a weekly giveaway. I've got that linked in the description down below. If you want your own coldest water bottle, it is 10% off using code MILLIONS, which by the way is the coolest referral code ever. Millions. 10% off your entire order with coldest water bottle. Okay. I know. GB Love, I'm doing 2 more questions. So if you have a question, get it in now. Okay. JJ White says, does calling about a job from a newspaper count as a work search? You betcha it does. It absolutely does. So you can even call one. I don't know. Don't call ones you're not qualified for. Try and call ones that you really want. Also, what job is advertising in the newspaper? But yeah, absolutely, that counts as applying for or completing a work search activity. Okay, let's see. Also, taking out an ad. Let's say let's go back to the childcare thing. People on PUA unemployment claims. I get a lot. What would count as a work search activity for them? So again, I mentioned like putting up a flyer in a laundromat about your childcare services or babysitting services. But also, if you took out an ad, Facebook does ads, right? You could run an ad on Facebook about your childcare services. Something like that. That would count as a work search activity. Also for self-employment, people reaching out to clients. Here's another option for Uber drivers, like a legitimate option. Let's say that you're nervous to go back, like letting strangers in and out of your car. They're touching your car handles with their dirty germs, and you do not want that, but you need to do the work search activity. So you could literally make a Facebook post, because guess what? That's letting your friends know. You could say, hey guys, I need to get back to work. I'm not comfortable being an Uber driver anymore. I don't want to let a lot of people in and out of my car. Does anyone have a child who needs transportation back and forth from school every day or to their after school sports, or maybe they have a sick grandma that needs to go to weekly doctor's appointments. Maybe you could be that person that takes them. You could even post that you were, if you're only doing the weekly doctor's appointment for grandma, maybe you can do weekly grocery shopping for someone else, maybe not through a company. Maybe you just put a post letting your friends know that if they need you to do that, you could do it. That would count as a work search activity, in that case for people that are self-employed. True Love says, the EDD entire department should be fired, to be honest. My senator's gone on their tail on May 6th, and I'm still pending because of a computer glitch. I'm so sorry about that, and I hope that the senators are able to help clear up your claims soon. Delana says, I can't update my password, and they told me that my password was locked out. Delana, did you call and they told you that? That was happening a lot yesterday. Basically, step away from the computer, give it 10 minutes, refresh your screen, and see if that helps. Also, if that was just a message you were getting online, people say clear your browser, clear your cookies, clear your cache. I got to be honest, I'm not really tech savvy. Those terms, like, I don't know how to explain how to do that, but like, they say doing that can help. Using a different browser can help. Borrowing a friend's phone that doesn't have like your history, your browsing history in it, that might work, or a relative's phone. So try that. Now, if a rep actually told you that you're locked out, you might need to call the technical support department. I always say this, even when she's in here, and I tell her she doesn't do it, but Jenny Silver has a video called 25 Numbers, and she does have the number to EDD tech support in that video, and you can try and call them to get the tech issue sorted out, or the computer glitch issue. Okay. Josie says, what happens if your claim balance is exhausted, but she started unemployment in May of 2021? So you are waiting for the EDD to apply an extension to your claim. It should be automatic, but keep in mind with the EDD, things that should happen are not always how it actually happens. So if your claim balance just hit 0, it's going to stay that way for 2 weeks. 5 to 7 business days after your claim balance hits 0, you should get either a letter, a message on your UI Online account, or a text message that says, in your case, it's going to be a 13-week PEUC extension has been applied to your claim. It's not going to last the full 13 weeks. It's going to go through the week ending September 4th. Your claim balance will stay at 0 all the way until you certify again. It will be a good sign if you see the date on your UI Online homepage that you can certify again. And yeah, that claim balance will not go up until your next certification date. Now, if you don't see a date you can certify, if for some reason the certify button is completely gone, or your claim balance doesn't go up after you certify in 2 weeks, that is when you would need to call the EDD. Desi, hi. Oh my God, do you guys want to know what a raccoongur is? I made up a word. I'm trying to make it viral. I'm silly, and then I'll do eyes question because they're making the crying face. But here is what a raccoongur is. So you guys are familiar with the dating term cougar. So, and raccoons like to eat trash. So a raccoongur is it's a person who has a track record for dating people who other people would describe as trash, bad people, not good people in the dating world. So instead of being a cougar, someone might be a raccoongur. Like, oh, Desi, don't be a raccoongur. Don't date that guy. He's trash. And of course, I don't actually think anybody's trash. All people are valuable. Some people don't treat others well in relationships. But so yeah, raccoongur, it's a word. I'm going to add it to Urban Dictionary. Yeah, tell your friends not to be a raccoongur. I think I'm hilarious. Although I have another fun accident, whatever. Anyway, okay. LA, glad you're here. Desi, I'm gonna Stop live streaming soon. You could all borrow the term raccoon-ger. Share it with your friends. Okay, let's see. One more. Oh, no, I said I do. Oh, LA's. Your name came up weird a second ago. Can I please help you? You're only able to certify for 1 week because my claim balance went down to 0, but you have no updates. What can you do? Oh my God, don't even worry about that. Well, don't worry about it yet. That's normal. As you come to the end of one extension, which ends in an odd number of weeks, so there's not 2 weeks of balance left. Those extensions are all either 13 weeks, 11 weeks, or 29 weeks. So on the last week of each extension, there's not enough for you to get paid for 2 weeks. So what should happen? And in your case, since you could only certify for 1 week, even though it's not updated yet, you might actually be able to certify this coming Sunday. So just give it a day and see if that's a possibility. If not, within the next 5 days, you should see the next date that you're able to certify pop up. In 5 to 7 business days, you should either get a text, an email, or a message in your UI online account. Sorry, not an email, a text, a message in your UI online account, or a regular letter letting you know that you're eligible for the next extension that will take you through the week ending September 4th. Your claim balance is going to stay all the way at 0 until you certify again in either 1 week or 2 weeks. And since you were only paid for 1 week this last time, if it lets you certify again this coming Sunday, you should be able to certify for the week ending July 3rd and the week ending July 10th on Sunday. So you don't even see that you're able to certify again on July 11th yet. That's what you're looking for. But I wouldn't worry just yet. So either you'll be able to certify this Sunday or next Sunday. Yeah. Daniel, are you laughing at my word? Covered California. Eve says, I need health benefits. Do I have to take a job offer if they don't offer health benefits? So to answer the question totally honestly, you would need to say that you refused work, which of course is going to cause your claim to go pending. Would the EDD know that you didn't accept the job offer? Not necessarily. Also, you guys, there is a good program under Covered California right now where if you're on unemployment, if you've been on unemployment at any time during 2021, Desi, if you're still on, listen to this, because I think you started to ask me about health insurance earlier today. If you have been on unemployment at any time during 2021 and your employer does not offer health insurance, it's my understanding that you're supposed to get Covered California benefits for very, very affordable rates. Okay, LA, I'm going to do yours, and then this is going to be the end. I'll do LA's, and then I will do Chastity's. Okay. Will they automatically extend my payments? It's supposed to be automatic, but I know you've been on the channel for a long time. With the EDD, you have to be a little bit skeptical anytime they say that something's automatic. Also, you haven't been able to get payments from January to April because they can't get a hold of EDD, and they won't backdate me through Ask EDD. It's time to enlist the help of your local assembly member. Let them know what's going on and see if they can help get those missing payments. All right, and Robert, I'll do yours because you gave me a donation, which I appreciate. But I also said that I was going to do Chastity's, which says, why did Tier 2 specialists allow me to leave a message? Will they call back? I don't know for sure. The EDD does have a callback feature now that does work. But that's usually to hold your place in line to get you, and they'll call you like when it's your turn in line. So that callback feature does work. I've never heard of being able to leave a message with a Tier 2 representative. I have seen reps tell people, oh, and I'll even call back to make sure that everything went okay on your claim. My boss was actually told that. And I sent Jenny Silver like a message on Instagram because we're friends. Like, we really are friends, guys. We just don't want to believe that, but we are. We're not rivals. We are friends. And I was like, Jenny, I was like, they told my boss that they were going to call him back. And I was like, I don't think they are. And I was like, I don't know how to tell my boss that like he was just lied to by the EDD. And so I was just like, yeah, I hope, yeah, okay. I hope that that's the truth. And then sure enough, he's like, Shelly, they didn't call. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I kind of knew that happened. So I would be kind of surprised if they called you back, but hopefully they do. Okay. So Robert's question is going to be the last, and then I gotta go get some sleep so that I can be rested because I'm old, because I'll be 44 tomorrow. You got the MEUC email. Then when you try to register, you keep getting an error message. What is the error message? It might just be that the system's overloaded. Can you try like a different browser? That's a very new issue. I will definitely look into it. I don't have, I'm gonna look really quickly. Oh, everybody, Hannah Living Blessed just popped in. She's got a YouTube channel. She reads Bible verses on Sunday mornings. Check out Hannah Living Blessed's channel. I'm just going to look really quickly on the Facebook message board that I moderate for to see if I can find anything about people having trouble uploading the MEUC documents. Hopefully there's something here. Just somebody saying any mixed earners out there getting emails regarding additional money. Somebody liked it. Okay, nothing at the top of the message boards, at least not that I've seen yet. So let me see if you answered anything about Robert, what kind of error message was it? Try using a different browser. That's my best advice right now. All right, guys, I've been streaming for like an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to take off. I hope everybody has a good night. I really appreciate all of you. Keep in mind the EDD is going to have a lot of call volume tomorrow because their customer service phone lines have been closed both Sunday and today, which means Tuesday is going to be a high volume day. So this week, try calling Wednesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. right when they open, or try 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Claimyr might be an option. This week I think the phone lines are going to be like super extra busy, especially if now people are having trouble loading their MEUC documents. So if you've been hesitant to use Claimyr, this might be a good week if you need to contact the EDD to try them out. I've got the $5 discount link in the description down below. This video is sponsored by the Coldest Water Bottle, which gave me the coolest referral code, which is millions. Gets you 10% off your entire order with them. And they do a weekly free giveaway for a water bottle that you can enter in the description down below. I gotta go, guys. Thank you so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time.